Hi, Kriti. Good morning. How are you?
Hello, good morning. I'm great. How are you doing?
All good. So you got many interviews scheduled these few days?
Yeah, right. Like in a few weeks, I have few interviews scheduled. I'm
Okay.
looking forward to them.
Uh, Wonderful. So why don't we start with if you could just briefly tell us about yourself?
Right. So my name is Kriti Jagir, and into August 23, I graduated from RV College of Engineering as a biotech graduate. And I did my schooling and engineering everything from Bangalore. In RV College of Engineering, I was a part of NCC and also a part of Entrepreneurship Cell, which is the business club of RVCE. There I was the vice president of marketing and social media in my last year. And apart from that, I really like reading and writing. And because of my interest in writing, I self-published a book called Unfelt. It is a short prose and poetry collection. This I did in 21. And I also was part of an anthology, which is called Art of Ardency. And this was published in Jan 22.
Okay.
That's my brief introduction.
Wonderful, wonderful. So tell me this, you coming from a biotech background, how do you think MBA life suits you, or are you why do you actually want to pursue this career?
Right. So actually, I didn't have any plans of joining MBA or a business management education, pursuing that anytime in my career. I mean, on my life before. But when I joined Entrepreneurship Cell, I really like the environment and dynamics of business and management, teamwork, collaboration, and all of that in Entrepreneurship Cell. And then as I started from first year, I was just a content writer back then, but then I got into marketing and then finally I became the VP. And there I really liked how challenging, business and management was. And I wanted to get into marketing specifically because that was my area of interest. I liked understanding the behavior of consumers, how my writing, since I was a content writer, how my writing influenced people. And I wanted to understand how advertisements work, how writing and advertisements worked and all of that. And because of that, I thought this would be a great place for me to integrate both content writing and also marketing.
Okay, Kriti,
And then after that, sorry,
no, go on.
I'll just continue. Yeah. So after that, I also took up a few internships in business and especially marketing. So there, I really enjoy doing all of that. And I thought that if I continue doing this, will be great for me.
So, Kriti, since you are telling a lot about your writing experience and freelance writing, so how do you think your experience in freelance content writing will be equipping you for the communication intensive MBA course?
Right. So freelance content writing, I did it with Pepper Content, which is an advertising company. So they have this portal called Content Portal, where I was a part of that community. So that was my first time actually, talking to clients and understanding their needs and how they portrayed what they needed from me and how I delivered that to them. So while doing that, I understood how to, professionally talk to clients and how to deal with them. And that's how I learned, that was my first sort of business work or just work that I did in content. So that is how I think it equipped me or will equip me for MBA.
So Kriti, do you think MBA is the only way that you can do marketing? Because like you mentioned, you already have some exposure to marketing. I don't think you really need an MBA for that. I mean, you can simply choose a career path, go ahead with that.
Yeah, so I think some sort of knowledge prerequisite is required for you to do anything. Like I don't really have that much of an experience, to be honest. I was part of a club, but then that is just a small part of this world, right? I need to expand my knowledge much more than this. So I think professional education, masters in business and management would be much, much more helpful, conducive for my personal growth. And also, I would like to understand go into depth that I don't really have right now, since I'm a fresher, and I also need to learn. If I go into internship, I will definitely learn a lot of, tips and tricks from my first year, which I don't really have right now. So I think for that, professional education is really important
So
to give you
Kriti,
the push that you need.
yeah, from what I can see that you are very passionate about your biotechnology, right? And you have done
Right,
a bit of certification courses from NPTEL. So why are
right.
you not thinking of the MTech and PhD line since you're so passionate about biotechnology and why MBA? You can obviously pursue MTech and MTech in biotechnology, right?
Right. So, like I said, since in India, there's not a lot of scope for biotechnology right now. And if you want to get into higher education for biotech, I would have to go to US. And for that, first, what you would need to do is research for a long time. So I would personally like to start working, and also research is sort of monotonous, while getting to business and management is sort of a dynamic, area, a field that I would like to, I think I would be better suited for that sort of work. So that is why I thought of transitioning into business.
Okay. So, like, since you have already self-published a book, are you an avid reader yourself?
Yes, I am an avid reader as well.
So, what sort
I
of genre do you prefer reading?
I I don't have a preference. Like, I read pretty much everything. But to tell you specifically, I really like the fantasy genre a lot. High fantasy, to be precise. In fantasy, there are a lot of genres in fantasy, and I enjoy the massive epic worlds of high fantasy. Especially, I've read Game of Thrones, Harry Potter, and Percy Jackson. Those are just the few of them that I've read.
Okay.
And Mistborn, if you know that.
Let's say you had to draw a parallel between Harry Potter and the business world. Can you give me one key takeaway that you can relate from Harry Potter books to business world?
Right. Um, that's an interesting question. So I think what I really remember from Harry Potter, especially in Goblet of Fire, was that Harry in Goblet of Fire was very new. He was very young to be in the Triwizard competition, right? But what made him go to the third round was his allies, and how he, how strong his allies were and how strong his network was. So even with the competition, he was able to strike a balance and try to deal with the competition and mutually help each other. So I think that's a very good business takeaway that I can think of from Harry Potter, is how you do collaborations with people who you don't know, and sort of are your competition, and collab and then help each other.
Kriti, since you told that you are involved with NCC and I can see that you are a student ambassador of TKMS BMST Foundation. So can you
Right.
tell us what all leadership qualities did you exhibit there, which will be helping
Right.
you in your MBA journey?
So I'll just start with being the student ambassador of DKBMST. So that is actually a stem cell donation camp sort of foundation in India. So there, I think that was the first time I was in a group where people were not really motivated to work for this, even though it's like a foundation. I understood that they might have different priorities from doing this. So there, I understood how people think. Not everybody has the same sort of interest or priorities as you. So you need to understand how a team is and how diverse their thoughts are. So that was my first sort of step in being a group, like in being in a proper group. And there I just understood how being in a group feels like. Whereas in NCC, what I really learned from NCC is how to compose myself in very stressful situations. So NCC posed a lot of situations where I had to juggle academics, NCC, my club, and everything. We had a camp literally 4 days before, my final exams. So in such sort of situations, NCC helped me compose myself. And finally, one more thing that I understood, I learned from NCC was how to not give up midway and reach the finish line. I still remember there was this trek that we did in NCC. It was horrendous. It was such a difficult trek and very hard to do. But then I saw that my 50-year-old ANO, who's the NCC officer, of the college, he was not in that good of a shape to finish it, but he did, and that really inspired me to also finish that trek, even though I was really scared of doing it. So I think such qualities really help you being a leader, where you don't give up midway, and you, even though it's a really tough situation, it's very stressful, you take your whole team forward, and take your whole team and their support and move forward.
Kriti, can
So
you
yeah.
tell us more about how much were you involved in shaping the social media campaigns of Cambrian Bioworks?
Okay, so in
What were the
Cambrian
skills
Bioworks,
that you exhibited? We want to know about the
right,
specific
in
skills.
Cambrian, right. So in Cambrian Bioworks, I was involved in a lot of things, not just, social media campaigning. There were different parts of that internship. One of them was social media. So that was like the first time I was actually working, doing social media for a company. So there I was involved in not just before I used to do social media for students, like students of my college. But then when I came to, doing the internship, there I had to create content which was for not students, but actually actual customers of the company. So there I had to work a little bit differently and understand what, the internship entails, what sort of customers they target, and then create content for them. So it was a way different because the target audience was different. I had to understand what is the difference between these people and these customers. So that is one thing that I had to learn from that internship. And yeah, it was gratifying because the internship, like the company that I worked for, they actually provided COVID kits to hospitals and these research R&D labs. So so whatever I did had direct impact on on the company and how they were doing their research, how they were interacting with their customers. So that sort of helped me understand the gravity of the situation and how I'm creating content and what is responsible. What is responsible content? Yeah.
So you have lived, I think, most of your life in Bangalore, if I'm not wrong.
Right.
Can you name, let's say, 5 things that Bangalore is famous for?
Right. So one of the things off the bat I can say is one of the things is Vedant Sauda, which is the main court of Bangalore. It's very huge, but the architecture is what steals the show of Vedant Sauda. Then it is Cubbon Park. There are a lot of parks actually in Bangalore since it's known the garden city. But then, yeah, Cubbon Park and Lal Bagh are few like the biggest parks in Bangalore. Lal Bagh also has this flower show every year. So they get flowers from everywhere and like tons and tons of flowers, and they have the show every year. Then one is the one I think you've definitely heard of the traffic, but worse than that is the roads of Bangalore. You cannot go on a road without meeting a pothole. It's like a living thing there. It's like ubiquitous. And what else? There's this Rameshwaram Cafe, which is pretty famous in Bangalore. And then definitely the IT infrastructure in Bangalore. It is definitely true. And also another thing is once you leave Bangalore, you will never want to go back.
So, Kriti, tell me about your one strength and two weakness for which we will take you and we won't take you. one strength for which you will be selected and two weaknesses for which we should not be selecting you.
One thing that I think is my strength is that I am very diligent and I like to improve. So whatever that is given to me, I will try to understand, even though it's not in my genre, I will try to understand what you want and learn. Even though I don't know what it is, I will learn and try to do whatever you give me properly. And next time going, first time it won't really be great if you give me a new thing, but I will try to improve that. And then weaknesses, I am like sort of a perfectionist. If I don't like something, I will put my time into it. Sometimes it's a strength, but the most of the times it sort of becomes like a hindrance when I want to finish my work a bit faster. And another one is I don't see things, at least now, in 360 view, 360 degrees view. So I sort of have a tunnel vision sometimes, so that I would like to, have improve later on, that I want to look at things and like get a bigger picture and then do my analysis and then do my work.
Kriti, how much do you know about IIM Visakhapatnam? Why would you like to join our college?
I would like to join the college first. Like one of the main reasons is because it has mentorship with IIM Bangalore. So I think having a few visiting faculty from IIM Bangalore would also be great. Also, Visakhapatnam as a city, I have never lived in a coastal city, so I would like to have an experience of living in Visakhapatnam.
So, do you really think, like, have you done your research properly? Is
Yeah, I have.
Our mentor?
I have asked a person from IIM Bangalore about, like, a teacher from there. I've talked to her and she gave me this information. Like, she's a working faculty there in IIM Bangalore, permanent faculty.
Okay.
Okay.
I think
Then it was wonderful talking
Yeah.
to you, Kriti. And
Same here.
Have a good day, Kriti.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Hope I
you.
see you in person.
now let's talk about some of the areas of improvement during the course of our interview. So what I felt that the candidate could have structured their answer better when we asked her about why MBA questions. They should have been mentioned in pointers and in a chronological order probably to give it a more structure and better understanding to the interviewer.
What I feel is when someone is asking a question, why this college, you should be better prepared with the answer, because there was one data which was not correct. And also, when someone is asking why this college, you should avoid answering because you like the city or something. You should answer more about what companies are coming, what areas of work or research they are doing, so that will be looking much more realistic.
Also, I think for that sort of question, you should research before every interview for every college that you're going for.
Also, when an interviewer asks you about your weakness, never try to portray a positive aspect of yourself as a weakness. That does not come very well with the interviewer.
Also, what the candidate can do is explain what they're doing to improve their weaknesses.
All the best for your interviews.